All right, let's talk about something we've all heard a million times. For years, the advice has been simple. If you want to stay healthy as you age, you gotta walk. Get those steps in. But what if I told you that's only half the story? What if the real key to your independence isn't out there on the sidewalk, but it's waiting for you right in your living room chair? Yeah, we all know that magic number, don't we? 10,000 steps. It's pretty much become the gold standard for senior health. But here's the question we need to ask. Is it really the ultimate defense against aging? Is it truly protecting you from the biggest threats to your mobility and your strength? Well, the latest research is pointing to a pretty surprising answer. And that answer is no.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. Look, walking is fantastic for your heart, for your cardiovascular health, no doubt about it. But it does very little for the specific things that truly determine your independence down the road. Seated exercises, on the other hand, they directly target functional strength, they help you preserve that precious muscle mass, and they even improve your bone density. These are the three pillars of independence that walking by itself just can't build.
And look, this isn't just my opinion. We've got the science to back it up. A huge study in 2023 from the University of Missouri found that older adults who did specific seated exercises saw a 27% greater improvement in their functional strength compared to folks who only walked. Now, that's not a small number. That is a massive difference. That's the difference between lifting your own groceries with ease and struggling just to get out of a car. This brings us to what we might call the walking lie. Now, it's not that walking is bad, of course not, but it's been sold to us as a complete solution, and it just isn't. Your daily walk, as good as it feels, isn't protecting you from this silent thief that's robbing you of your strength year after year.
And that thief, well, it has a name. It's called sarcopenia. It's the natural, age-related loss of your muscle. And let me tell you, it is relentless. Starting around age 30, it quietly starts stealing 3 to 5% of your muscle mass every single decade. Simply walking on flat ground doesn't create enough resistance to stop it in its tracks.
When you see it on a chart like this, wow, it really hits home. If you're at 100% of your muscle mass at age 30, you could be down to 70%, maybe even less by the time you're 70. And this isn't about how you look in the mirror. This is about function. This is about having the raw strength to live the life you want to live. So what do we do? How do we fight back?
All right, enough about the problem. Let's talk about the solution. We are going to go through a powerful, expert-backed countdown of the 5 best chair exercises that directly fight back against muscle loss. This isn't just some random workout I found online. This is a surgeon-approved plan to help you reclaim your strength. Kicking things off at number 5, we've got the seated calf raise. Now this might look simple, but believe me, it is a powerhouse for your lower legs. I want you to think of it as a circulation booster. You see, your calf muscles act like a second heart, helping to pump blood back up from your feet. This is so important for fighting swelling and even preventing dangerous blood clots. Okay, so here's how you do it, and the form is key. Sit up tall in your chair, feet flat on the floor. Now, press up through the balls of your feet, lifting those heels as high as you possibly can. And here's the secret. Hold that squeeze at the very top for 2 full seconds. Feel that muscle working. Then, slowly, and I mean slowly, lower your heels back down. That control is what builds the strength. All right, coming in at number 4 is the seated knee extension. This one directly targets your quadriceps. You know those big muscles on the front of your thighs? These are your stair climbing muscles, your get out of the chair muscles, your get out of the car muscles. When these get weak, everyday life gets a whole lot harder. For this one, you really want to sit with your back pressed firmly against the chair. Extend one leg straight out. But the part that makes all the difference is right here. You have to squeeze that thigh muscle as hard as you can for 3 solid seconds. Really focus on that squeeze. Then lower it back down super slow, over about 4 seconds. That control is everything. Number 3 is a big one. This is what I call the ultimate fall prevention movement, the seated hip march. It targets your hip flexors. You see, when these muscles get weak, people start to shuffle their feet instead of lifting them. And that dramatically increases the risk of tripping and having a serious fall. And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to this. A major study from the Mayo Clinic in 2022 found that hip flexor weakness was the single greatest predictor of fall risk. It found that people with the weakest hip flexors were 4 times more likely to fall. This exercise isn't just about strength, it's about your safety. So, to do it right, you're going to sit on the front half of your chair with your spine nice and tall. Now, lift one knee up towards your chest as high as you can. Use your muscle, not momentum. Hold it there at the top for 2 seconds, and then slowly lower it down. Then do the other leg. That control is what strengthens those crucial fall prevention muscles. Okay, we're heading into the top 2, and let me tell you, we're shifting gears now. We're going from things that are important to things that are absolutely indispensable. These next 2 exercises are what orthopedic surgeons consider fundamental for maintaining independent living. If you do nothing else, you've got to focus on these 2. At number 2, the seated row with the resistance band. I call this one the posture protector. Why? Because it strengthens all those muscles in your upper back that fight against that forward hunch, that kyphosis, that can sometimes happen with age. And good posture isn't just about how you look. It affects your breathing, your balance, and it can seriously reduce back and neck pain. For this one, you'll need a simple resistance band, nothing fancy. Loop it around the soles of your feet, sit up tall, and then pull your elbows straight back. The real secret here is to imagine you're trying to pinch a pencil right between your shoulder blades. Hold that squeeze for 2 seconds and then slowly release. This is what builds that strong support structure for your entire spine. And that brings us to the number 1 spot. But before I tell you what it is, let me ask you a question. What is the single most important movement you can do? A movement that studies have actually shown can predict how long you'll live. The answer is the sit to stand. But listen, this is so much more than just an exercise. It's actually a diagnostic test. Your ability to get up from a chair without using your hands is one of the most accurate predictors of your functional health, and believe it or not, your risk of mortality. The data on this is it's breathtaking, really. Multiple studies have found that people who are unable to get up from a sitting position without pushing off with their hands have a 5 to 6 times higher mortality risk. Think about that. This one single movement tells us so much about your total body strength, your balance, and your coordination. But here's the amazing part. Here's the hope. It's not just a test, it's also the cure. A 2023 study found that doing sit-to-stands just 3 times a week led to a 19% increase in hip bone density. This one exercise simultaneously builds muscle and bone, directly fighting the 2 biggest threats of aging at the same time. So let's nail the form. Cross your arms over your chest. No cheating by using your hands. Lean your body forward, shift your weight over your feet, and push through your heels to stand all the way up. But the real magic happens on the way down. I want you to lower yourself slowly. Take a full 4 seconds to get back to the chair. Just gently touch the seat and then power right back up. That slow descent is what builds incredible strength. So there you have it, the top 5. Now let's put this all together into a simple, actionable plan. This is your strength blueprint for a future where you are in control. And when you look at it all laid out like this, it's not so overwhelming, right? We're talking about 3 minutes per exercise. That's a 15-minute plan for your independence. 15 minutes a day, a few times a week, to directly fight back against poor circulation, weak knees, fall risk, bad posture, and both muscle and bone loss. It is the single best investment you can possibly make in your own future. So, it all comes down to this, doesn't it? You now have the knowledge. You have the plan. The research is crystal clear, and the exercises are simple. The only question left is the one right there on your screen. What will you do today? Your future self is watching, and they're counting on the choice you make.